Hello, good morning. This is the business news on Sunrise. Coming up, only 6 companies listed on the Ghana alternative market after 10 years of establishment.
If you own 75% of a company that is worth billions of Ghana cedis, isn't it better than owning 100% of a company that is millions of cedis?
Also, E-Crime Bureau calls for more public education on increased Momo fraud.
The modus operandi has now become very sophisticated, and the majority of them being social engineering oriented. So there's a need to increase awareness.
Plus, Ghana stands to benefit from a lot of foreign exchange if it gives coffee the needed attention, according to the Coffee Federation of Ghana.
It's a foreign earner that contributes about 126 billion USD. Cocoa gives you just around 47 billion annually.
I am Bismark Awusah. This and many other stories lined up for you. Thanks for staying with us. To our very first story, the Ghana Stock Exchange has described the low patronage of the Ghana alternative market as a worrying trend. Since its establishment in 2013, only 6 businesses have listed on the market. Speaking to 3 businesses at a Women Investment Summit Africa Conference and Exhibition in Accra, Head of Listing and New Products at the Ghana Stock Exchange, Joyce Boachi, said the alternative market affords companies, including startups, the opportunity to secure long-term capital.
Taking advantage of this market is very important, and it's readily available. I mean, the market is there. We want entrepreneurs in this country to take advantage of this market. Currently, we have only 6 companies listed on this market since 2013, and it's not encouraging. One issue we have realized is that some of them do not want to share, do not want to open up for others to come in. But we give them the comfort because the regulations or the rules says that the minimum you can give to outsiders is 25% of your company. So if you own 75% of a company that is worth billions of Ghana cedis, isn't it better than owning 100% of a company that is millions of cedis, or even not millions, you know? So this affords them the opportunity for the company to be big and own big, percentage in this institutions, even as they give, shares to others to come in.
And that was Head of Listing and New Products at the Ghana Stock Exchange, Joyce A.C. Boachi. To some other stories, cybersecurity firm E-Crime Bureau has stressed the need for increased education among mobile money users to help check fraud. This comes after a report by the Bank of Ghana that monies lost to Momo fraud increased by over 100% in 2022. Reacting to this development, the lead for financial crimes and anti-money laundering at E-Crime Bureau, Ansah, expressed concern.
2021 success rate for mobile money fraud incidents was 90.14%, and then the 2022 success rate was 96.30%. It sends a signal. That means that the criminals have found a way to, withdraw the cash, and that has accounted to the success rate, as much as the fact that the attempted fraud or the actual losses have actually also significantly increased. So it's very important that, institutions put in the right processes, particularly when it comes to incident response. So when a fraud occurs and then it's reported to the telecommunication organizations, there should be a way to swiftly respond to it. And per our analysis, you realize that the modus operandi has now become very sophisticated, and most of them, or a majority of them, being social engineering, oriented. So there's a need to increase awareness so that, the population or the citizens will be aware of the schemes because they keep on changing.
And that was lead for financial crimes and anti-money laundering at E-Crime Bureau, Ansah. Now, the Coffee Federation of Ghana says the country stands to benefit from a lot of foreign exchange if it gives the crop the needed attention. According to the president of the association, Dr. Nathaniel Nsako, Ghana has over the years lost out on the $1 million industry, and now is the time to review policies to the advantage.
Over the years, Ghana has focused on cocoa production as a key contributor to the economy. But for players into production of coffee, Ghana is shortchanging itself. They believe the country stands to earn more by focusing on coffee, which has a larger market than cocoa.
We've been sleeping because when you look at what coffee contributes globally, it's a foreign earner that contributes about 126 billion USD. When you compare to cocoa gives you just around 47 billion annually. So compare the two. Which one gives you value? When you compare the two, you see that cocoa doesn't come anywhere near coffee when it comes to foreign exchange. And yet, as a country, we have the arable land, we have the youth, we have everything that can help us to get coffee.
However, for Ghana to maximize returns in the coffee industry, there must be a deliberate attempt to develop an extensive value chain.
We establish a very strong domestic market for the product. Then we improve the quality of it. See, coffee is there, but coffee is a very sensitive product which depends on quality and taste and aroma and everything. If we can get that right, then we process it, store it, and then we sell it. We in ITC, in this project, are not promoting necessarily the selling of green beans. We want to add value, create the jobs here, and make it competitive overall as a value chain for the country.
A report by my colleague Michael Obodu. This is still business news on Sunrise. To some other stories, the former finance minister, Seth Terkper, has cautioned against referring to the domestic debt exchange program as financial gains for the government. The program has exposed banks to accounting losses on government bonds, which have had a significant impact on their income statements. Many individuals have also been impacted negatively by the program. In his version of mid-year budget review, Seth Terkper expressed regret that the government has been insensitive in its choice of words when describing the program.
We should pick our words, carefully. What is a savings to government, remember, is a cost to those who are picketing. We should have some empathy, when it comes to using some of these terminology. The fact that they are Ghanaians who have paid their taxes in the past, and all that, should not be suffering this. So what is a savings to government is the opposite side of the coin. It's a cost to those whose interests are being cut. It's a cost to using terms like, oh, this is great saving. Is it an incentive for another government, to overborrow and then cut for people? Some of them, as we know, their kids are not going to school because they are saved with a view to, to taking that money to pay fees and other things. And we've all heard the stories.
The executive director of the Africa Center for Energy Policy, ACEP, has called on Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta to address the pressing issues within the energy sector during the 2023 mid-year budget review. Benjamin Boachi noted that the need for coordinated efforts among stakeholders in the energy sector to confront the current power crisis is very relevant.
This is electricity sector where we're supposed to sell power and recover revenues, and we have failed to deliver that over a decade. And the program highlights that the entire economy becomes unsustainable if we continue to behave the way we have behaved with the energy sector, where over the years, government has spent in the past 4 years an average of about $1 billion or $1.2 billion every year to cover the shortfalls in the energy sector. And if you look at government's own projection of business as usual scenario, that is, if nothing changes or we continue to behave with the energy sector as we have been doing, we will be paying about 23 billion Ghana cedis this year to support the line to be on. By end 2026, we would have spent about 97 billion Ghana cedis.
And before we go, let's take a look at how the cedi is faring against major trading currencies and how some key commodities are faring on the global market.
On the interbank foreign exchange market, where banks trade amongst themselves, the dollar recorded no price change, selling at 11 cedis. The British pound also recorded no price change, and it's selling at 14 cedis 1 pesewa. The euro is selling at 12 cedis 2 pesewas. It recorded no price change. However, be guided that these figures will be higher at a forex bureau near you. On the global commodities market, price of cocoa is up by 1.55%, selling at $3,470 per ton. Price of Brent crude oil is up by 1.04%, selling now at about $84 per barrel, while the price of an ounce of gold is up by 0.54%, selling at about $1,965.
And that was an update from the commodities and forex exchange markets with me, Bismark Awusah, ending the business news on Sunrise. Sports is up next.
Okay. And of course, when he puts his fangs into you, you certainly feel it. I think it.
1 minute, why? Shell,
Driver, what's all this about?
Oh, madam, help me say thank you to Shell. Because I'm a member of the Shell Club, I get loyalty points every time I buy fuels that I use to redeem gifts I love. Third-party insurance for my car, free medical insurance, and many more. Shell day my side. In fact, when I see another Shell station, I will hug everyone there.
Hey, driver, what do you fire Kwanzaa?
Hey, English, madam.
Enjoy numerous benefits when you buy fuel from Shell. Get loyalty points to claim third-party car insurance, family medical cover, provisions, and many more for free. Driver, Shell day your side. Go well.
A bank that supports you. A bank that cares for you. Hand in hand, we stand with you. So lift your head up. Big dreams are waiting. We'll walk with you wherever you go. Where all your dreams are alive. CBG will make you smile. We will rise with you. Your business will flourish. Your name will stand out.
Hello? Yeah, is it true that your Ansah 10 Dubai trip on chartered Emirates flight is sold out?
Yeah, you heard right. All 250 seats to Dubai on 10th August are fully booked, but all hope is not lost. There are a few more seats on Emirates for 13th and 15th August departing to Dubai, with the rates starting at only $1,650.
Huh, great. I can't miss out on this fun trip. Are there any other combo trips?
Yes, we have few seats available on below exciting combo trips. Nairobi and Dubai with Dorinando, Kigali and Dubai with George Quay, South Africa, Victoria Falls and Livingstone with Lexus Bill, Singapore, Bali and Malaysia cruise with Kwame Dazi.
Wait, how do I book now?
Just send hi to the WhatsApp number 0593 857 002 or call 0556 310 404 or visit adansetravels.com. All bookings from now till 25th July will get free pass to Adansi at 10 Gala Dinner in Accra.
Awesome.
It's a vibe.
Hello, Auntie Araba. Hey, Bugger, how are you doing today? I want to buy Pepsodent Cavity Fighter, but I don't have enough money. So what are you going to do? Can you give me the big size? You know, as for me, I'll pay the balance later.
Today, no credit. I haven't sold much this morning. If you don't have enough money for the big size, why don't you try the 120 gram pack?
There's a 120 gram pack? Introducing the new Pepsodent Cavity Fighter in 120 gram pack size. More affordable and convenient. Get yours today from any supermarket near you. Every smile matters. This advert is FDA approved.
3FM 92.7 Urban Lifestyle Radio Station.
Hello, good morning, and welcome to Sunrise Sports on 3FM with me, Kelvin, Owusu, and Ansah. You can also join us on Facebook on 3FM 92.7, on Twitter at 3FM 92.7. Well, let's begin from the news that came in just yesterday from the draw for the inter-club competitions for CAF, and Ghana champions Mediama SC have been billed to play against Remo Stars of Nigeria in the first preliminary round of the 2023-2024 CAF Champions League. The first leg of this tie is expected to come on the 18th, between the 18th to the 20th of August. That is next month, with the second legs expected between the 25th to the 27th of August. Well, we'll be quickly getting on the line to Patrick Akoto, Mediama SC PRO, to get quick reaction on this. Thank you so much for joining us this morning on 3FM 92.7. Patrick, it's a big one for you. The first time you went to Africa, you made Ghana proud. What do you make of this first game against Remo Stars?
It's a very tricky draw. Good morning to you, Kelvin, and to your listeners in the team. Yes, it's a very, very tricky draw. We are looking forward to it. We begin to dig deep into Remo Stars FC. It appears quite a very strong team, very formidable, with strong financial backing. I think that the owner is a very, very financially stable person. And you look at their facilities and you look at what we've done in the last couple of years in Nigeria, this clearly is a mountainous task for us. But we started working very assiduously at training for the last 2 weeks, and we'll move into proper gear within the week.
Well, very well. And in knowing this, many had questions about the venue with which you are going to play this game. Are we sure by the close of the month or early next month we'll be having the assurance of where Mediama will be playing their game? Is it going to be at the news?
I think we've already confirmed that, yes, we will play our first match against Remo Stars at the Cape Coast Stadium, because the timeline for the completion of the account of the TNA Stadium does not hurry. We are looking at the facility is expected to be handed over to us somewhere in September. But we are playing the opening match within the weekend of 18th to 20th of August, meaning that we will have to move all the way to Cape Coast for our opening match. If we are successful, then we manage to negotiate our tie against Remo Stars. Hopefully, by the time we play against Korea of Guinea, we should be able to move much, much closer to getting the facility in Takwa fully completed and handed over. But at the moment, which is confirmed, that we'll play the Remo Stars FC at the Cape Coast Stadium in that particular weekend, sir.
Well, now, Patrick, finally, after winning the league, the president of the club, that is Moses Ama, made mention of Mediama solidifying their playing unit by bringing in some of the quality players they know in Africa and also in Ghana. In the next couple of weeks, should we expect more additions or new signings to the team?
I will have to admit that it's been pretty tough landing our targets, largely because most of them are looking at the first option of traveling abroad, and that if it doesn't become successful, then they look at the option of joining other Mediama or any of the other local clubs. And so we've made a point of not making the wholesome changes to the squad. We are looking at making some few strategic signings. We've already announced the signing of Japasu. Benjamin Baturi has also joined us. And a few others that the club will be announcing. Whatever it is, we want to put together a team, a crack team that can compete as a team. But I must admit that getting our intended targets have not been a walk in the park. It's been difficult because most of these players' first option is to travel outside the country, and that has been their focus. Perhaps if they are unable to secure deals abroad, then they can look at the option of playing for any of the teams here locally. But be as it may, we have a good team already. We won the league. The team is looking very, very compact. We just need to add some few strategic signings to the squad. and I think we should be good to go. That's the situation at the moment, sir.
All right. Thank you so much for giving us a bit of your time. Sorry, we had to just quickly walk you out of your sleep, but we wish you the very best on that trip to Nigeria and back to Ghana.
Thank you very much, Kelvin. We don't sleep early. You people to do your sports too early.
Well, thank you so much. That was Patrick Akoto, person for Mediama SC. Now, moving away from that, Dreams FC have also a battle to play against Milo FC de Kankan from Guinea in the first preliminary round of the CAF Confederations Cup. The first leg is also expected between the 18th and 20th of August, with the second leg also expected between the 25th and 27th of August. If Dreams are able to progress, they are going to play either AS Douane of Niger or Cologne Stars from Sierra Leone. That is if they're able to qualify from the first round. Let's move away to the Black Queens, and they have had an excellent display in the last 5 matches, and there has been a massive improvement from what has been seen in the previous year. Several people have raised questions about the quality of the opponent of Nora Hoptel's side, but my colleague Ore Kwampofo has a different view on the Black Queens.
Football was, even to be fair, they were expected to score a lot more goals than there's a process attached to how the team are playing. They're creating chances, they're playing beautiful football. This is a team that, as I said, they've not qualified for the Olympic Games for more than 20 years. The last time they qualified for the World Cup was in 2007. We hosted the last 2 editions of the Women's Africa Cup of Nations, where, can you imagine, as host, we got knocked out at the group stages. And the next edition was cancelled. And I think the next AFCON 2 they hosted the AFCON in 2018, got knocked out of the group stages. The next edition was cancelled, but the most recent Women's Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco, we didn't even qualify. From being knocked out in group stages, now you didn't even qualify for the next tournament. Right. And so we had hit rock bottom. For a coach to come in, take this team, pick young players from the Princesses, put her faith, in a 20-year-old goalkeeper. I mean, if you're coming from a point where you even fail to qualify for the AFCON and you're now winning games 5 in a row, you're beating the likes of Benin, Senegal, and then Guinea. I think it's a good step. At least it's a climb upwards, and they should be praised. They should be encouraged. Of course, I think Nora she's well-sounded, and she understands her environment, and definitely these praises are not going to get into her head. She admitted that it's a process and they're taking it step by step. Right. And qualification is the end goal, but she's looking at how they develop and increase their capacity incrementally as the games go by. Right. And I mean, I think that's a good sign of a good coach. Clearly, everything we see now is a coach who is ready to provide the youth with opportunity, play her best players, and also bold enough to have a strategy mapped out for different, oppositions that they face.
Well, that is already come over there. Now moving away from national team football back to club football on the Asante Kotoko new direction. Collins Atapoko believes that there has been thorough investigation and deliberation to make the decision going forward that will help the club sustain itself in the upcoming season and beyond.
It's the usual 3-year cycle you become accustomed to that is repeating itself. There is a regime change, whichever way you look at it. Regardless of the fact that Emmanuel Newton Dasbury is part of the current IMC, there is a regime change. We had a board that has been duly constituted, metamorphosing from an executive chairman into a board, which brought in a management team led by Nanaya Omponsa. They are no more, the board is no more, but certain elements have been co-opted into the system. The Asantehene has gone through the report. He's tabled it to the traditional council who went through it. He has done broad consultation for over an 8-week period, culminating in conversations with people whom he felt could come in and spearhead an agenda that would see him put money into the club. And then also, like they say in Kumasi, those who are coming in to serve, they're going to also bring in equity to help run the club.
So that is from Collins Atapuku there on Asante Kotoko. Now and move away. On the 5th of July, the Club Licensing Department of the Ghana Football Association opened the application process for domestic clubs to apply for license to participate in the 2023-2024 GFA organized competitions. Well, this is to incorporate the minimum requirements and guidelines for every criteria for compliance as a basis for the issuance of a license to all the clubs. Majority of Ghanaian clubs have failed to meet the club licensing requirements to operate before the start of football seasons. Julius Emuna highlights the changes in licensing requirement for stadiums before the license is approved and the new changes that have happened this season.
Your stadium must not necessarily meet the licensing requirement for stadium for the GFA stadium regulations before you get a general license to participate in the competition. So you can have the sporting correct, legal correct, financial correct, administration and finance correct, and of course infrastructure, the minimum requirement, the information of the stadium, the agreement with the owner and all of that. You can get all of that correct. But if your stadium does not meet the requirements for the GPL, for instance, it does not mean that you won't get your license to participate in the competition. You will get a license, but you might not play in the stadium. So it's as simple as that. We believe that granting a license to participate in the competition is more important than where you play, because we should come to the level where the GPL class play must be only approved stadium by the club licensing department. So this year, we received all the venues. We are going to inspect the venues and categorize them. Category 3 is the requirements for Premier League. We will categorize the stadiums. Those that doesn't fall in category 3, it means that you cannot play a Premier League match there. If your stadium is not classified as category 3 stadium, then you have to look for one of the category 3 stadiums we're going to publish to play your match there. So it's as simple as that. So very soon, from the 5th to 18th of August, next month, we will be touring the country and bring out our reports as quickly as possible by before the ending of before the ending of August. We should know the stadiums that are ready and are under the category 3 to be used for our Premier League.
Well, that is from the club licensing department of the GFA. Now, the CAF Awards will return to Morocco after last year's edition was also held in Rabat. According to CAF, the proposed date is the 11th of December 2023, but it will be confirmed when the host city is finalized and ready to be communicated. Senegal and Bayern Munich forward Sadio Mane and Nigeria and Barcelona's Asisa Toshola are the reigning men and women's best players. So we'll be waiting for the shortlist later on this year. Now moving on to the foreign front, it is still uncertain whether Tottenham Hotspur and England forward Harry Kane will make a move out of the Premier League. Real Madrid were tipped to sign him, as well as Manchester United, but Kavesoiko reveals that Bayern Munich are becoming increasingly confident that they can get the signature of Kane from Spurs before the summer ends.
Bayern Munich are becoming increasingly confident that they can sign Harry Kane. They believe he will become a Bayern player as long as they can agree a fee with Spurs. Obviously, that has not happened yet. And our colleague, Sky Germany, Florian Plettenberg, who is in Japan at the moment with Bayern Munich, he's been reporting in the last hour that the Bayern chief executive, Jan Christian Driesen, and also the Bayern technical director, Marco Nepp, want to meet Spurs chairman Daniel Levy this week, preferably for face-to-face talks. And he's saying that Bayern want to treat Spurs with total respect, and Bayern also believe that they are not worried about reported interest from PSG. They have had some encouragement behind the scenes, which makes them believe that they can actually sign Harry Kane this summer.
Well, that is it there from FC Bayern Munich. Now, Graham Saunders agrees and believes that the German move is now the best option for the England captain.
If I was Harry Kane, I would be joining Bayern Munich. And Bayern Munich, for people who don't really understand what Bayern Munich are around, they are by far the biggest club in Germany. You're as good as guaranteed to win the league. That nothing's 100%, but in recent history, they're winning it every year. Living in Bavaria, living in Munich, doesn't get any better. They would pay him the going rate, so he'd come back with a suitcase full of medals, and his family would have enjoyed being in Munich. That's Harry's call. Does he stay at our winning record amount of goal-scoring titles at Spurs? Is that important? He's done that already. I think for him as a human being, great, go and live in Bavaria. To look in his trophy cabinet at the end of his career, Munich is a place to be.
Well, Munich is the place to be, and it looks like Kyle Walker is also bent on moving away from England to Germany, where he will join Giant FC Bayern Munich. Pep Guardiola says Walker is an incredibly important player for Manchester City, and they are going to fight to keep him.
What I can say is an incredibly important player for us. Having specific qualities that is so difficult to find in the worldwide. We should be in his quality, specific qualities, obviously replaceable. So we want him yes or yes, but at the end I don't know what's going to happen. I know they are in touch, both clubs, and we will fight for him. Like I'm pretty sure Bayer will do it, but I don't know where it's going to finish.
Well, now Nottingham Forest have signed Sweden forward Anthony Elanga from Manchester United on a 5-year deal. The 21-year-old moves on from Old Trafford, with Forest believed to have paid United a fee of £15 million. Now, Elanga had been with Manchester United since he was 12 and achieved a first-team breakthrough in 2021, reaching 55 appearances before Forest stepped in. Now, moving on to AZ Alkmaar, they've been fined €80,000 for their behavior of the fans at the Europa Conference League semi-final second leg match against West Ham in May. The Hammers, who won 3-1 on aggregate, went on to win the tournament during that game at the AFAS Stadium in Netherlands. AZ fans attacked an area in which West Ham players' friends and family were seated. Now, moving away from that, Lionel Messi is having no issue getting settled with Inter Miami FC in the United States during his MLS regular season debut against Atlanta United on Tuesday. Messi scored a first half brace in 22 minutes, which Inter Miami won 4-0. Messi went on to give an assist, and he started, and he wore the captain's armband for Miami on Tuesday. Very bright start for him and Sergio Busquets, who found him twice in both goals that he managed to score. Now, to the FIFA Women's World Cup, Philippines' first Women's World Cup victory has to be one of the biggest wins in the history of the sport, as they managed to defeat co-hosts New Zealand by 1-0, courtesy Serena Bolden's early header. Now, Colombia got their 2023 FIFA World Cup started with a very good victory, 2-0. It resulted against South Korea in Sydney. Catalina Osmi put the South Americans ahead from the penalty spot before teenager Linda Caicedo 18 doubled the lead thanks to an error from Korean goalkeeper. Now, Norway still having a very difficult 2 games into the tournament, and the ambitions are unraveling after a goalless draw against Switzerland. Not only do Norway, the World Cup winners in 1995, set bottom of Group A, they could possibly face an early exit. The cracks appear to be very emerging. Now, let's take a quick look at the result from the games currently ongoing in that is the FIFA Women's World Cup. So today, we expect another games. Canada will play against Ireland at 12, but earlier Japan defeated Costa Rica 2-0. Currently, Spain are leading Zambia by 1-0. 13 minutes played. We'll be getting you a lot more when we come your way on the Drive and Hot Edition. Now, Bronny James, the eldest son of basketball great LeBron James, is in a stable condition after he suffered a cardiac arrest. A spokesperson for the family revealed in a statement to ESPN the 18-year-old was training with the University of South California basketball team when the incident happened. Medical staff was able to treat Bronny and take him to the hospital. He's now in a stable condition and no longer in intensive care unit. So that is it there from the basketball. Let's do some high school soccer results. In Kumasi, the high school soccer is currently ongoing, and Asante defeated Mpasetia by 1-0. Tuase managed to lose on penalties to Mankaso Komfanoche, recorded a victory over our man Osechiche, defeated Kumasi High School 2-0. There was interest from a fiscal where Daniel Lai, FIFA referee, coaches that team. Sakafia defeated them 4-0. And then we have Kumasi Academy losing 3-1 to Busome Freho. And then Our Lady of Grace had Amas defeating Amas 8-7 on penalties after a 1-0 draw. And the shock of yesterday, Opokowari School settled for a goalless draw, but they were defeated 4-3 on penalties. Today, Amas play against the Region Fee in the round of 16. Kumasi Anglican against Tunubu Akodia, Duman Senior High against Sam's Prempe College against Islamic Senior High School, Asanteman against Mankan, so Konfanachi against Ukes, and then we have Sakafi against Bosome Frehu, and Church of Christ School, who eliminated that is Opokowari School against Olak. So that's all we have for you this morning morning on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. My name is Kelvin Owusu. Enjoy your Wednesday. Johnny Hughes and the rest of the team take over after DJ Abiam says you with some fine tunes. Have a good day.